hanging out. Just a couple of best friends hanging out, hanging out. Stu and Amber's wedding. Oh, happy day, October 8. What are they waiting to say on their wedding day? 2 times 2, baby, she loves you. So let's hear what you have to say. I do.
Oh.
We're in. Hey.
Didn't even have his picks yet.
I got him.
Oh, we're in.
You're not like me, and it takes you like an hour to search through
Oh, and he's gone.
each player, decide on if it's a positive or negative matchup, decide how the matchups stack up against the opponent fantasy team, and then do all that research just to get it wrong anyways.
You go with your gut at the end anyway.
Feeling your plums.
No, I just roll with it, but it's working for a pick'em. I mean, I'm maintaining my like 1 game lead. It's not working for my actual fantasy team. That was weird.
We know a lot more now than we did back in the draft.
I got no nails. Oh yeah, that's a good explosion. Hell yeah. Oh, mine didn't like do that at all.
Woo! Here we
Oh, I missed it. Do it again.
Hey.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, guys.
So, as everybody can see, we have a guest on the pod this week, the People's Pod. Some say he's the People's Champion. Others say he's part-time heel. His name is Adam Bolenbaugh. Welcome to the show.
Didn't you say he was one of the non-heels?
And there was
Bacon?
some serious debate in GroupMe whether or not Adam was a heel or
Mostly coming from me. But I think Colin also raised his eyebrows at the thought. His elbow begs to differ. How is that doing, by the way?
It's October 5th. This is the week 4 recap. 2021 season. It's good to put those in here, you know, for the future listeners that come back to these videos and watch.
Mm-hmm. Starting from the top, life update. Hit us, Cole.
I always go first. That way you hit us.
All right, I'll hit you. This weekend was super fun.
All right, I'll go first. No, I'm just kidding.
Friday night was date night, and so made a lovely dinner with Ashley, and then we drank a little bit, and then we popped over to the theater for Shang-Chi, which we both loved. We popped over before we popped over to Shang-Chi, we popped over to press.
A lot of popping.
We were popping everywhere. We weren't waddling anywhere at this point, which is a really cool spot. Yeah. It was the beginning of the night, right? Pressed. It's like a faux ice cream spot where it uses like dates and some other ingredients. It's completely dairy free, but the texture and experience is completely ice cream like. It's soft.
What flavor did you have?
We had vanilla and chocolate swirls, and then we added, so basically you like choose the base that you want and then you choose the toppings. And there's a time of night where they were out of fresh fruits, so we got chocolate chips and like granola, and it was bomb.
Was it actually chocolate, or was it made out of some kind
I
of
think that was chocolate.
carob or
Chocolate.
something substitute?
Cacao. It was dark cacao. Yeah.
That's good. At least the chocolate's not fake.
So yeah, it was like felt like we were eating ice cream, but we were eating something moderately healthier, I guess. Didn't make me feel like ice cream does. So that's cool. Friday was great. Saturday was dope because my sister did not go to regionals. And so she hit us up, asked if we were in town because all of her Frisbee friends were out of town. And so we got chocolate wasted together, which, teed up a wonderful hungover football Sunday. We watched Toy Story and Ready Player One because Ashley was dying. So one of the TV screens was dedicated to movies. 2 of them were dedicated to football games. And it was just a
And
couch
that's
day.
compromise.
And
And that's common.
At the core of every strong relationship.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it was really fun. Great, like R&R weekend for Old Man Weave, just what the doctor ordered.
Nice.
Adam, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Thank you for having me, by the way. My weekend was good. Friday, it was pretty relaxing weekend in general. Have you guys seen the show Squid Game or heard of it?
Heard of it, not seen it yet. I almost watched
Yeah.
it tonight and then I defaulted to tried and true Lucifer.
Well, we actually have watched a few of those as well. But for Squid Game, we're just like, okay, we'll give it a shot, and then watched half of the season in Friday night. Did a classic binge watch, so that was pretty fun. I would highly recommend it for anyone who likes that kind of genre. It's I would say it's like one of the guys from Train to Busan is on it, or in it, and yeah, it's just like a dark drama from Korea. It's pretty cool. So would highly recommend that. On Saturday, went to meet up with Colin and Evan and Alice and Dave. And we went and played disc golf at the Berkeley Aquatic Park, that really long, thin one with water on one side the entire way. So that was cool. Got to, rip a few discs and pull my forearm muscles for the first time since the draft. So that was cool. Finished a cool, what was it, Colin? 14 over, I think.
Yeah.
Strong showing.
Don't forget about your shot that ended up in the drink.
Yeah, so we never, the last hole, it goes all the way down and the right side comes back on the left side. And when it gets to the end, there's this a dog leg or a little bay where the park goes, where the water is. So you have to go over the hole or over the water. And they're with their disc golf discs, and I'm the only loser with my lid. And they clear it easily, not even trying. And I go and I have to rip this thing because I haven't really been throwing that far today. It's been real a lot of rotation, not a lot of distance. So I just ripped this thing, and for about 0.3 seconds, my face lit up. It was it had the distance, it had the shape. I was ready to go. And this just one branch hanging down just caught it, and it just floated straight into the water, the direct center of this bay. And that was about when I was just okay, I'm just ease it out, just walk around. Lost that disc, or at least for the time being. Finished the round, actually finished on another over the water shot, and it was gorgeous. And then I 3-putted for the bogey. So that was my round. A couple, basically every hole had at least one mistake. So that was great. Yeah, finished up Squid Game. Pretty relaxing Saturday. And then Sunday watched football all morning. And then went to Evan and Alice's for the night game, the Bucks Patriots game, return of the Brady, and was, I would say, kind of disappointed with the play of the game. It was pretty slow. I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of weird. But Bacon was also there, by the way. Didn't mention Bacon. So all 5 of us were hanging out, and they ordered pizza, which was super nice. Had a beer. Just got to watch Brady break the record to a little bit of very not a lot of ho hum. It was really
We couldn't
for
even
all the buildup. Yeah, for all the buildup, it was just
well, wait, he actually already broke it, I guess.
yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah, and then ambled home and was a responsible adult for Monday morning, where other Sundays this football season have gone differently. So yeah, that was my weekend. Pretty
Solid.
Well, closing it up, I obviously was in the Bay for regionals. I flew up on Friday to stay with Evan and Alice. That was great. Evan picked me up from Art. Saturday we had a late start, so we got to play disc golf. That was cool. Saturday, the team went 2-1, so advanced to basically what the bracket was, but it was a really weird, like 11 team format. So it wasn't like a straight bracket. There was like a bunch of like playing games to like sub brackets, but we made it past Saturday, which was cool. Sunday morning, we lost to the team first thing that we had beaten the previous day in our first game. So that kind of sucked after being up a few and then basically shitting it away. But silver lining of that was we only had one consolation game after that.
Very
Basically
nice.
on Sundays, like you just play until you keep winning. And then once you lose, you had like one consolation game. So 3 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, enough to where I got my Frisbee in, my body was very sore, got to watch a bunch of football, the afternoon and the late game, like Adam mentioned. Condors won the region for anyone who didn't hear. They beat Revolver. So this is the first time since I think like 2003 Condors have won the region. So that's pretty sweet. I'm happy for all those dudes. Staying with Evan was really cool. Got to meet the little pup Winston. He's like a ball of energy.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, basically like a tornado of energy, just like
Aw.
super lovey-dovey, licky, like play with me, puppy. So just like not 100% in control of his body, like flying the couch cushions, and, but like just adorable.
That's so fun.
Had dinner on Saturday night with Evan's parents, which is really cool. Evan made an awesome like burger and salad. And his parents actually live in like a conjoined combined adjacent unit on top of Evan and Alice's. So it's really, but it's like completely separate. So you really like, don't even know they're there until like you walk up there. But really nice place, and really just nice weekend with them in general. And then Monday, flew back to San Diego, worked a half day. And so, yeah, it's been like a whirlwind couple of days where like Monday morning, I wake up in SF, fly to San Diego. This morning, I woke up in San Diego, just like drove to Santa Barbara, and then we'll be spending the rest of the week here.
Oh,
My first time as a visitor in Santa Barbara. It's
How's it feel?
strange, sad almost, but we'll get past that. And then one final thing that happened over the weekend is the Giants beat the Padres on the very last day of the season to clinch the division of the West. So pretty just basically shitty season for the Padres after having such huge aspirations. I know the A's are kind of in a similar boat. And then Giants, stupendous season. I know a lot of Giants fans, listeners. So to all those listeners out there, I know I threw this in the group me, but literally getting on my plane yesterday, they were like, and anyone wearing Giants gear can now board the plane. Just like sipping my coffee.
grumble.
And that was my weekend. So pretty cool overall. Stoked for this next week ahead, and stoked for this next hour of podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to, we were real quick, sorry, on the Shang-Chi, what'd you think?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I loved it, and Ashley loved it too.
Nice.
I really knew nothing about the characters, and I thought they did a wonderful job of like explaining everything. The graphics were so cool, and the fight sequences were just, they reminded me of Matrix, when Matrix first came out, and how like that bullet bending scene just blew everybody's mind. That's kind of how I felt with some of the martial arts. So I was just like, I was in it through and through. I could have watched another hour and a half easy. Like,
Yeah.
Great soundtrack too.
Great soundtrack. Aquafina was, she's like
Super funny. Yeah.
straight to my funny bone, that woman.
Well, it was like wasn't too much too. It was like it's just like the perfect amount, perfect timing. Yeah. It was good. It was a good movie. I liked it. We were thinking like we didn't have any real expectations going in, because it's just like a brand new universe they're trying to like bring in within the Marvel thing. And so like we just didn't have a lot of expectations, and like so it was pretty cool to be like blown away. It was also the first movie we've seen in a theater since like for like 2 years. I think the last movie we saw was like Birds of Prey with Margot Robbie, and like that was horrible. So like we were happy to have a better experience.
Yeah, we had that realization as well. 2.5 years for us. So it was wild.
Yeah.
But then it like reminded us the very last thing that we did before lockdown was go to
Benchmark.
and then
Banff.
Banff,
Mhm.
which was a loaded theater with hundreds of people, like fully sold out. And then the next day, like, can't go to work.
That was like the day the NBA shut it down.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God,
It's
this is a
just-
thing.
It's getting weird. Yeah. So that's so fun. I remember back then, I was just like, there's like rumors that this could last till July. Like, it's not going to get to Santa Barbara until like the end of July. Like, how crazy is that? We'll have 3 months of this. That'd be so cool. Little did I know, 2 years later.
I think we incorrectly assumed that people would use reason and science to combat this foe instead of personal belief.
Yeah,
And the American way is my way or the highway.
dude. Yeah. And then switching gears back to the Dodgers Giants situation. I think it's so brutal. 2 historic seasons, and like if the Dodgers win on Wednesday in the wild card game, then we are matched up against the Giants. How brutal! The 2 best records in the league are gonna have to face off first round. That's tough. I just wanted to I don't know. That's just so brutal to me.
That is tough.
Those games are stressful. Stu and I went to the one
A's Rays.
to the A's. Was it Rays?
Yeah. Wait,
And
I think it was.
I can't remember, but it was horrible. They hit the first home run when I was like in line getting into the stadium, and it was just like we never had the lead after that. It was like cool crowd and everything, but then it just feel us getting like deflated. It was tough.
Yeah.
I do not envy that like stress this year, even though I would have liked, the A's to do better. But I was a pretty bad fan this year.
Yeah, it was the Rays.
It was
Thank you.
terrible.
Thanks,
fan.
IT.
Colin knows your fandom better than you do. I wonder if he knows.
I know a fact of that game. That was the last game that Blake Trinan played as an Oakland Athletic. And then he went to the goddamn Dodgers. And then he's been just lights out ever since.
Makes sense. He was lights out with us. We just didn't want to pay him.
And he blew that game, though. I remember he gave up 4 or 5 runs an inning or something.
Tough.
Doesn't surprise me.
I hope he does.
Everyone sucked. Mania was our starter and just shit the bed.
Also, the losing pitcher in that game.
Tough. Oh, Charlie.
Trinan or Mania?
Oh, I had this completely wrong.
Are you thinking of the one in against the Yankees
That's the
when
year
Liam
before?
Hendricks was
Yeah.
the opener?
Yeah.
So Liam Hendricks, who was our closer actually later, was our opener against the Yankees and gave up a bunch of runs, and it was basically over from the start. That was another one where I don't think I got home from work to watch it in time, and all of a sudden we're behind. Maybe it's me.
It's all your fault. Yeah. I'm planning on being at the bar, ready to roll at 4:30. I'm gonna have at least 1 beer in me.
Smart.
Yeah.
Where's your bar of choice for the games?
Honestly,
Press room?
my living room is
The bar?
the sports.
You fooled me.
The cheapest drinks around.
Yeah, the Sportsman is the closest one, and there's always a Dodger contingency in there, and they show the Dodgers games. But tomorrow we're going to be going to 1114, which is down an alleyway next to the turtle pond. They
Yeah.
have TVs everywhere and live
Yeah.
music, and so it'll be cool, hopefully. But I'm scared that it's going to be a $150 tab for just me. But Dodgers only playing wild card games once a decade, I guess. Hopefully.
Hopefully for you.
Anyways, let's get into the
Moving
pod.
on.
Yeah, we're already 16 minutes in. Yeah, so this is the favorite part of the show, everybody.
We're atoning. So lots of things I have personally to atone for. It's the last pod.
What do you want to do first?
Courtesy of Weaver. Oh yeah.
It's a good vintage.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I owe a shotgun. So
Should
actually,
I just
in honor
take a
of
break while you guys?
no, you have to think about everything that you should atone for.
All right.
Do you
Damn
need
it.
keys?
Yeah, probably
Come on.
should grow up and not open my mouth. So I had to shock in this White Claw because I made a bet with Weaver on the Bill Scott matchup where I took Scott and Weaver took Bill, and Weaver ended up winning by like 57 points. Excuse me. Bill ended up beating Scott by 57 points, which
So therefore Weaver won.
Weaver ended up winning
57
by
points.
57 points in one shotgun, one claw shotgun. And as this is the week of Stu, and a statement that Stu always likes to say, we're renters, not homeowners, and I'm making this on behalf of Weaver and Ashley.
Yeah,
So
don't get it on the couch.
Not renting that.
I thought you were renting the couch. And I appreciate this. Look at it. I have a little towel on
My
my
towel.
lap
I
here
know.
for
He's
this.
got the Niners blanket behind him.
Weaver and I were talking before the pod about me doing this on camera, and we decided that Gen Z would think that a president would be pretty lit if they could shotgun, and it's on YouTube. So we're gonna keep it.
The president?
Yeah, like when I run for president
Oh,
eventually.
right, when? Got it.
Actually, endear me to the Gen Z voters.
Adam, would you like to take a shooter with me in consolidation with him? Consolation.
And he lost the bet. What are you talking about?
I know. Oh yeah,
Oh, almost did it, no drip.
it's cold.
Oof.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Okay.
All right, I'll do what I'll do.
You have to atone. We talked about this. What are you atoning?
Yeah, so one of the conversations that went on at our disc golf game Saturday morning was I was berating Colin sleepily for for spending very little time on Evan. What I felt personally in my heart was little time on Evan in my matchup, and the sole thing was just like, yeah, this one doesn't seem to be close, so we're just gonna move on, which hurt me. And then my team performed, and I said I was going to prove him wrong and make him do an atonement. Well, my team proved him right, both of you right, and it was a low Sunday.
Yeah.
Got to show up to Evan's house, and he was on his like very mild, like paced out gloating. Like every once in a while, he'd be like, "Oh, come on, Kevin's catch that." And I'm just like, dude, you're like way ahead. You'd be like, "Oh, if he would have caught that, I would have won for sure."
Like,
It's
is
like,
Godwin even
fuck you.
playing in this game?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. So a lot of mild shit talking that just, this is for that. What are you atoning for?
This is a classic. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right. So last podcast, Colin was like, we talk too much, especially in the negative variety of word choices. And so, let's try to keep it positive. All right, well, this matchup, I'm choosing the 500-point club guy, and that's it, right? Like, people still want to hear about their teams, right? So it's funny, yeah, that you were.
Well, and if you were talking like negatively for me about my team for a long time, I'd be like, all right, give it a rest, move on.
Classic Adam. I
It's
remember that one
sweet
season
spot.
where you had all the fun facts.
Now that I'm here, we'll talk the perfect amount of time for each team and each matchup. It'll be great.
Before we take the shot. So before this, Weaver was like, I have nothing to atone for. Why should I have to atone? So
Famous last words.
I came across something that I thought was pretty amusing today.
Scroll.
I have a record of everything. Before we get into that, so I had to atone personally because I said the Niners are playing the Cardinals. That was incorrect. And I was very vehement in my belief that Brad would not listen to the podcast. And then he listened like
Immediately.
immediately
The
and
first
then just
person, yeah.
completely just destroyed me. And then kept like, oh, and now Colin's shook about this. And now he's shook about this. So Brad, I apologize. But for Weaver, and I guess Adam, you can be an unbiased quote unquote judge in this. I just want to read a blurb about Elijah Mitchell from Yahoo. We've all seen how Yahoo are pretty good shit talkers. Don't look at my blurb. Okay, so you know how like at the top they give like the fact, and then at the bottom they give like their opinion. So the top says, Coach Kyle Shanahan said the hope is Elijah Mitchell, shoulder, will shed his blue no contact jersey at practice this week. And then there's a giant paragraph about how Trey Sermon has taken the job. And then the last two sentences is Mitchell should return to the top of the depth chart, but this backfield is going to be a weekly headache. Who could have seen that? In hindsight, Mitchell may not have been worth all that fab waiver wires in fantasy. And I just wanted to read that aloud to everyone, just in case they missed it.
I did miss that. Thank you. That was great.
Apparently, Colin also missed that Mitchell is practicing in full. Me.
No blue jersey?
No blue jersey. It's a double atonement.
Yeah, don't do that towards the screen.
Sorry, fans. But I will take a shot anyways, because so far my $69 is not panning out.
So I lack a shot glass. So
Hey,
early.
You karma whore.
Wow.
You're going to get the W this week for sure. I got to change my pick.
Yeah, that's the stuff. Okay. Did you guys think it was funny when I screenshotted Adam and was like, Adam looks like a proud like parent over their puppies?
I didn't get the full reference.
You didn't get it?
No, it didn't hit as hard.
About, though? No?
Like the stock photos you were talking about?
Well, just like you come across like, oh, it's like the dogs and their little puppies and the parents are always like doing the dog smile. No? Okay. Well, I came across that because I was at the fields on Saturday or Sunday morning and I see all this action in the group me. And then I click to load the videos and like it'll open but not load. So it's just a photo. So all I saw was the photo of you standing there with and then same with Stu. So that's where that came from. But fine. Sounds like it wasn't funny. Moving on.
It's fun. The shot's been interesting. It's funny, like Noelle, can you take a video real quick? She's like, it's like, is that good? It's like,
it actually warms my heart that she's participating in these shots, because whenever I have to do some type of shot or atonement, I just like go off by myself and do it. I just like I bring my water bottle with me and I just put it up against the water bottle.
Oh,
and then
you got to get one of these stands. I got one for work.
Yeah, I'm super appreciative. It's like when we were at O'Malley's house in San Jose and he took a video of himself doing a shotgun and he just took the Pebbles approach and put it up against the sink while we're all just like standing there watching.
Yeah, it's fun. It's interactive. You're getting the fans in there. It's cool. I agree. I appreciate that. You'll have to thank Noelle for her service after this.
I do.
Yeah. All right. Next segment. Oh, yes, this is super fun. All right. It's a new segment. This is super fun. Back in the day in like the 90s, or well, I guess for decades, there was that show called The Newlyweds where couples would be asked fun facts about their partners and earn points. And it was really just fun to watch people flounder. So I asked Stu a bunch of fun facts in honor of him getting hitched this weekend. And you guys get to be participants in the Stewlyweds game. Woo!
Newlywed Game debuted in 1966.
Wow. That's just
The more you know.
great content.
Hashtag the more you know.
All right. So we're going to start off with a really easy one. What is Stu's drink of choice from a bar?
Whiskey soda.
Yeah, whiskey soda,
Yeah.
right?
Well played, both of you.
All right. Should we do it on 3? I was like,
should we like
whiskey with the water in it.
we like right
But
on
it's bubbly.
and be like, this is fine.
This is fine. What was the diet that Stu opted for multiple times while living at the Fortress? And what was his nickname for himself during that diet?
I know it.
Yeah, the keto, and he was the keto kid. Self-proclaimed.
The self-proclaimed keto.
Again, the whiskey sodas like tie into that because
Yeah, it all ties together. So many LaCroix bottles, so many LaCroix cans.
So many LaCroix.
Should have got him a soda stream in hindsight.
were those a thing?
It might have been pre-soda stream.
Yeah.
All right. What are his favorite toppings on pizza? There are 2 of them.
I don't know this one with confidence. I'm gonna guess, which is funny because like he has this. We've gone to this deep dish pizza place, Star, out here.
Oh, yeah.
So is he talking about? Is it? I mean, so maybe is he talking? Is this deep dish? Is this thin? I call bullshit on the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go with sausage and jalapenos.
Ooh, mine was pepperoni peppercini.
All right. Adam gets half credit with sausage and mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
All
have
right.
guessed that.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought this was a fun question because, I mean, just with the keto thing in mind, like pizza, I don't know, is kind of opposite from the keto diet.
Have you verified these answers with him, by the way?
These are literally from Stu.
Okay, perfect.
From
What the?
Stu's mouth.
All
I don't know
right,
if this is from Weaver's brain. Could be anything.
they are from Weaver's.
He's like, I remember it being.
Yeah.
This is the final question and the hardest one. We all remember that picture of Stu holding up his Panther. He's wearing the Panthers jersey. He's holding up, I think, the triangle flag thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The banner.
The question is, what year did Stewart begin his Panther fandom?
I'm gonna guess
It's kind of tough. First, you have to calculate
2003.
2003.
That's way too late.
Yeah.
You think he was born in like 93 or what?
My guess is 96.
96? 96 is very close.
97.
Yeah.
Mm.
You gotta
Well, I
remember-
was trying to think, like, I thought he was like, no, you're right. I'm way off. Shots hitting me.
he would have been like a high schooler, right? Like
What is the
2003?
name of the board game where Stu backstabbed the entire group on his way to victory?
Oh, Dead of Winter.
Don't even get me started on that. I still get triggered just thinking about it.
This
But
is-
Weaver, was it the right play?
It was 100% the right play. I just, hate it with a fiery passion.
Yeah.
Just the way
We can have both. We can have both.
the way the cookie crumbled was just so not fair for the rest of us.
So here's a one that I had to double check, and this is the last one I throw out there. Is like, what is Stu's brother's name?
I feel bad because I've met him like 4 times.
Shit. I didn't really remember that Stu had a brother.
His name is Alex, and
yeah,
I had to ask Stu as well before all the festivities start this week.
I was
That's
gonna
double bad because I've definitely like hung out with him at a bar watching Stu perform like in Concord.
So, Stu plays the guitar, huh? Yep.
I mean, at the end, I said Adam and left. He did not respond. So
It's his fault.
technically not on me. I'll
funny.
take some atonement sip for the forgetting of Stu's.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the gift that Stu's brother gave him that triggered him?
Oh, fuck.
Careful, this is going on the internet, boys. We don't know who watches this.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember like the triggering. I don't remember the gift.
There's a picture of Jackson.
That's
His
right.
dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because it was like after they had split.
Yeah, brutal.
That is
Right when he lost Jackson, he got a picture.
Dude, Jackson the cat visited the U.
Recently?
No,
Or in general? Oh, I was
No.
like, what?
No, yeah. If like on the Chronicles of the U. Yeah. Oh, Jackson, what's up, man?
Talking about walking 500 miles.
Before we move away from the Newlywed Game, the Canada Street House, when I lived there with Blake and Upgrade, we played that. The 3 couples played. Now
How was
2
that?
couples are married. It was super fun. So we did like 3-course meal where each couple was in charge of 1 course, like app, entree, dessert, and then we played a Newlywed Game.
That's so fun.
It was extremely fun. I like I would love to do it again in a heartbeat. Definitely
Mhm.
would recommend it.
I wish that you would like remember this sooner. Oh, it's not too late.
It's not too late.
You have a free night in this week.
No, that's why we're recording now because every night things just gonna
I
snowball.
know, yeah. I can't wait for Saturday. That's gonna be a shit show.
Okay, so next section, this is fun because we have our special guest is listener questions.
Yeah.
So listener questions. First question comes from longtime listener back up in the Pacific Northwest. This goes to previously platinum, now back to Diamond Bill, and just at the top of the league, to everyone's chagrin. His question, and we'll throw this to our guest first. With 4 weeks in the books, who you got making the fantasy playoffs? When Bill first texted me this, I was like, this is way too early. But then I thought they always do the way early predictions. And so, fuck it, we're doing it. So,
Well, I like it because later on, I remember specific chatter being like, oh, people just picking like 5 of the top 6 and then, not doing anything different. So the fact that I'm Colin, you kept saying this, but the fact that like the first and last place are within 2 games, like you said that multiple times over the weekend, like that makes it like giving me hope falsely. That is it gives us an opportunity to dive a little bit deeper and then not do the top 6 explicitly. So now that I'm done stalling, I'm gonna say what I think my picks are. I am gonna pick Bill and Team Jiggy Jiggy, Brad, because they, in my opinion, keep putting up like a ton of points, and it seems like pretty legit. Bill's a little bit concerning just because of his injuries, but like Brad's wide receivers, I don't know how he keeps doing it. Like the wide receiver whisperer, like Mike Williams with his 5th-year breakout, and then Cooper Kupp taking somehow all of the target share in like an offense that only got more targets. Doesn't really make sense to me.
he runs that one route that him and Hunter Renfrow share.
Yeah. Hunter Renfro's
Night
like,
football.
well, I'd love it if Hunter Renfrow copied him a little bit more and was a little bit more open as he is. By the way, side note, I did like in the Monday Night Football game how like there's a whole defense on 3rd down towards Hunter Renfrow. Like they showed how they bracketed him, and it worked, but it's like not Waller, not your first round over, like your number 17 pick wide receiver. It's Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I would not lock, but I would put those 2 up there. Evan's team's 3-1, Weaver's team's 3-1, O'Malley's team's 3-1. The Dak, I just experienced the Dak and Cooper stack, and that was not exciting. And he has a lot of points. But I don't know. I just think that like Cooper is known for getting like injured at some point.
He will fade. At least when I owned him in the past, he faded hard the last like quarter of the season.
Yeah. So, and in an attempt to not be like super chalky, I'm going to not pick either Evan or Weaver. Weaver, no offense, you've just been hit with the injury bug. The fact that you're 3-1 is very commendable. Reminds me of my David Johnson year when I went 6-0 without David Johnson. And by the way, my like 4th pick was Terrell Pryor as a wide receiver. I think about that every once in a while.
Wow.
Not picking you. I'm going to pick O'Malley. No, not going to pick O'Malley. Sorry, O'Malley. That was rude. I'm going to pass over O'Malley. I'm going to pick Scott because of his strong running backs. So that takes me to 3. I'm not going to pick myself because of purely selfish jinx. I'm reverse jinxing this. I will not make the playoffs.
We've
But
tried.
then dang it, that's like the reverse of the reverse.
Yeah, we've tried all the reverse fuckery that you can do with podcasting. It doesn't work.
Well, maybe a Zoom reverse, reverse.
Oh, it's the reverse cubed. Okay.
Crap. That means I have to pick some of these lower.
Bottom of the
I
barrel.
do think Max has had some not great luck, so I'm gonna pick him. And it like the 90 points is gonna hit one time, and you're gonna be so right, Weaver. I take it back. I am gonna go O'Malley. I switched my route, so that gives all 6 of my teams.
What a roller.
I did the whole no, yes, no, yes. No, yes, no, yes. So I have Bill, Brad, O'Malley, Scott,
Max,
Max.
one more.
Bill, Brad, O'Malley, Scott, Max. Oh, come back to me.
Fields of Barren Dreams.
No, I don't like anyone's team.
It feels like you're just trying not to choose Evan's team, and that's okay.
Well, he did break my heart this weekend. So yeah, I guess I have to pick Evan. I mean,
It's hard to ignore one of the points for leaders.
yeah, his team is booming for sure. And then, yeah. Okay, I changed my stance. You talked me out of it.
So O'Malley is
And
out.
when he makes the playoffs, no, O'Malley's in.
One person, no, I'm just kidding.
Can we please move on to one of you?
No, yeah, that was it.
I
That's
think
this
that
segment.
should be it. I
Yeah,
don't know if we
totally.
all.
Next question, next
If we all
question.
should do it.
So how many atonement shots is that when it does not go the right way?
0.
Well, we have a record for it, so however many you don't get right, that's the number of shots you can take.
Just one for the
Cool.
segment. One for the segment. Yeah.
Right time to
Next question.
Okay, and I'll take this one because it's very like close to home.
Ooh.
From Scott.
I have a
Actually,
comment on it
actually
as
like
well.
actually this is a good like group question because we got this is
Oh
this
yeah.
is the real reason why we invited Adam to the podcast. This one comes from Scott. Scott, great activity in the group meet today. Good to hear from you.
Love it.
So Scott's question goes, since Raider fans seem less resentful and slower to abandon their team after their move, what does this say about Chargers fans and San Diego natives in general? So I will take this start. My first knee-jerk reaction was one of defensiveness, like WTF.
Oh.
We haven't heard from you in a while, and now you're coming out guns blazing. But taking a step back, it is interesting because it's valid. It's definitely a valid case. I mean, not only are there more Raiders fans in LA, but there seem to be more just Raiders fans of the Raiders still in general after the move, as opposed to Chargers fans after the move. And for me personally, and I think Brad can also attest to this, is LA for San Diego represents just a rival town in general. It's like the Dodgers are there. They've historically had just the Padres number for their entire existence. And so like we, and I'm using the royal we as like San Diegans just do not like LA in general. Right. And so the move from San Diego to LA is from a place where like the common person loved the Chargers in San Diego. Like there was packed stadiums for sure. Before all of the like, won't they move talk happening, this Qualcomm was like filled with like Chargers fans. Then it was like they might move and then they left. And so then it's like the stadium, just like joining LA and that whole like circus of like the evil empire in LA definitely doesn't sit well with San Diego fans in general. And if I'm not a Raiders fan, but moving from Oakland to Vegas, where there's no geographic rivalry already, the Raiders have moved previously. I would think it's less of a sting as moving. Like literally now you have like Chargers who threw out first pitches at Padres games are now throwing out first pitches at Dodgers games. We have the Chargers. I think I actually said this in the podcast last year, like saying like, hey, go Dodgers on like social media. Whereas like a few years before they were in San Diego. And so like, it's just a lot of like stabs in the back. It feels like everything the Chargers do is just a stab in the back or middle finger to San Diego. So it wasn't just like leaving for greener pastures. It was leaving for a pasture of like the enemy that turns out to be 90 miles north. So it's like there's a constant reminder of that betrayal, basically. And so that's what I think the difference is like the geographic closeness, the existing rivalry beforehand, and then just like how it's in the San Diegans' face. Still,
Oh yeah.
the Union Tribune, was the San Diego's paper, still reports on the Chargers because it's like the sports thing to do. It's like, oh, it's what's the nearest football team? We got to report on it. It's the Chargers. So you like San Diegans can't escape the Chargers, even though the Chargers have left.
It's brutal. And to add to that, they left to be the second fiddle team. They're renting space in the Rams stadium. I think that's even worse for like objectively from a third party, completely innocent perspective. Yeah, I've no
Horse in the race?
horse in this race. I just felt sad for San Diegans. I hope you guys get a new team someday. But to leave a city that loves you to go to be like a rental in a town that like doesn't want you because we already have a team, yeah, that's fucked up. And I think that's part of why like Vegas, like Raiders fans are still like chill with it. Like flights, everybody wants to go to Vegas, you know, like, all right, they're not in the Coliseum anymore, but you know, like Vegas is a dope spot. I don't know your perspective on that, Adam.
I think like there's kind of like Colin touched on a lot of the things that I think I agree with basically all of them. I think to touch on a few more, like there's a little bit like a different national brand to it, the Raiders, where like having already, kind of your point, having already gone to LA, they kind of were already spread. And so to some people, them moving didn't really impact them. I remember, you know, week one, we were at like the athletic club and there was a bunch of Niners fans there. And I don't remember ever seeing that many Niners fans at like an Oakland place before. So I actually think there are plenty of people in Oakland that like aren't stoked about it or have maybe not cared as much. I know I'm not as attached. I mean, I think I care probably more than Colin cares about the Chargers, but I personally just am not as attached. But I think there is like more of a national following for the Raiders potentially, that from like the 70s or from like when they were in LA in like the 90s. That could be my Raider bias as well. So I mean, I don't have like a lot of stake in that. I could be wrong. And then there's a lot, I think, to the fact that they're going to Vegas where they're competing with different sports, whereas like LA, the Chargers are at another person's stadium and all the market, they have to like compete with the marketing, you know, like all the billboards in LA are going to be one of two teams, whereas like all the billboards in Las Vegas are all for the Raiders. So I just think it's kind of like a myriad of reasons to why it doesn't appear that the Raiders have like lost a bunch of fans. I don't even know what the fans were like in the Chargers. I mean, I heard a lot of Raiders fans, but that could still be the leftover LA fans, you know, like, are the Chargers going to have, it's tough because the like Raiders have already had like such a strong LA contingent. So it's really hard to say whether like them taking over the Chargers, the SoFi Stadium on Monday night was like due to them, like the fact that the Raiders are like more of a diehard fan than the Chargers and survived the move more, or just because LA already had Raiders fans. I don't know.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. There are a shitload of Raiders fans in LA.
Yeah, Ice Cube is
Right.
like
The juxtaposition
Bay.
is interesting, but I don't think it changes any of the arguments. Like, yeah,
It's sad for all of the people. And Pebbles posted this and grew me.
dude, I was gonna fucking also bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, all 32 NFL owners are greedy bastards who don't care about the fans unless it impacts their profits. If you aren't a fan now because of the owner, you never should have been a fan of the team to begin with. Which I don't necessarily agree with that last statement, but I mean, it's very much all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. They don't care about us, you know, just like policymakers in America. They don't truly care about us, but they're going to do what
no,
they
it's entertainment, and they do a lot of storytelling to get people involved and to get people hooked. And like, why do you think kids want to watch? It's not because of the owner, you know, it's because of like the storytelling the marketing teams do, and like that Chris Collinsworth stuff actually works on people. And so like, I think that had like, I would say that it's when you start to realize the owner situation, you can kind of actually let go a little bit more. So maybe like, I would kind of amend that last statement personally.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Oh, it's true. I'm buying all my jerseys from China, baby.
Yes, but caution, because I was waiting 6 months for some Padres merchandise, and then they eventually canceled my order after I complained a number of times.
Ooh.
I was fully refunded, but
Yeah.
I had the will they won't they for 6 months
That's brutal.
and then no jerseys. Okay, yeah, with that, we're gonna just crack open another one, pouring out for
Yeah.
Collins fandom.
Pour one out for Collins fan. He was the greatest fan in the land. He proved it through his clapping
Oh.
and bars. Go ahead.
I was gonna like one of the myriad of things I wanted to mention was I don't know if Scott's comment was based on like the reactions in our group me or more of the like what feels like the national like attention, but I will say that I think Colin might have been a stronger Chargers fan than I was a Raiders fan, and then therefore his like separation has been a stronger one than like what appears to be mine. So I think like that juxtaposition, just like those two lines, I won't speak for Bill like on his where his fandom is, but like I think that could also be another thing that maybe not be representative of broader America.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I had a lot of thoughts during last night's game. It was like, one, I was like, damn, this Chargers team is like pretty fun. Like,
They're fun.
this is like upsetting not to be like having like a real stake. I mean, I'd be lying if I like was said I'm completely unbiased in it, but still, I was like, God, this is our fun group of guys to listen.
Is Herbert winning you back?
What? No,
Is Herbert winning you back?
he's awesome, but I can't. The cut is too deep. But I was even like, I had this like whole thought process of like, I'm like lighting up this group me, just like watching this game and like preparing for like, oh, the Colin, you're like participating. And to that, I would say if it was like Jaguars, Texans, I still would have been watching. It's like I had the Monday night house to myself. I'm just like, Monday Night Football is on.
Hell yeah.
Um,
I know that feeling and I love it. Just like I'm locked into the game. I'm trying to chat it up with the boys. I'm super responsive. Let's go. I hope somebody else is there with me.
that Hunter Renfro hit was crazy.
That was
on the
nasty.
front.
Legit.
That was like such a crazy swing of events. I was like, oh my God, they're going to pull this off. And then Renfro comes out of nowhere and he just lights up this dude that's way bigger than him. It's wow. What a play.
He's a football player through and through.
Are you quoting the fucking Monday Night Football broadcast? Isn't that multiple? I don't mean it's so funny. It's like this guy's a football player. And it's like, yeah. It's just
I could be an announcer. Let's do it. Let's ink that.
He's really positionless.
I could be Collinsworth.
Okay, next viewer, listener and viewer, I guess, because our beautiful mugs are on this right now.
I hope I'm blurry.
Bacon sent many questions. So,
Go, Bacon.
okay, first question, and we'll go back to our guest. Should Fab budget be a tradable asset? We kind of touched on this on Sunday night.
Yeah, I'm open to it. I think it would get valued pretty low personally, but others may think differently and actually use it. But so I don't really mind it if it helps make a trade go through. Oftentimes it's like I'm trading with, or like I'm discussing a trade and it feels like there's just not the right value on each team to make it like fair for either person, right? So maybe a Fab budget gets it done. I don't know.
Imagine you have a person who spent $69 on a Niners running back and now is hurting for some Fab budget that he might want to turn around and burn pretty quickly again. You might be able to sweeten the pot.
With a lot of receivers. A lot of healthy, happy, productive receivers. Yeah. That would be beautiful.
So you're pro Fab budget being included?
Yeah, that actually is interesting. I wonder if Sleeper, the fantasy app Sleeper, allows for that. It seems very customizable, and Yahoo is so like my basketball commissioner experience is so terrible with everything. Every change that I try to make. Yeah.
proposal in the future. Sleeper, which I use in another league, is awesome. And they've just done something where you can load in your history. I think it might need to be like data entry by a person, but maybe we do like a Sacco punishment where the loser has to enter our history, and then we can use what I think is a cooler app.
Dude, I wonder how many hours of work would that be? Would it be like 24 hours of work of uploading the league history into another app?
Wild. That does sound fun.
Sticking with the theme of the question, I also think that FAB should be included. And I would go one further and say draft picks should be included. I know there was a little bit of resistance on that, and there could be some stipulations. Obviously, giving someone a first round pick so they had 2 first round picks next year is fucked up. So maybe there's like, you can't trade before round 8 or something, or round 10 or something. But throwing it out there.
Nah, I think that is more relevant for dynasty or keeper leagues, not for redraft teams.
How much do you want that ship?
Exactly. I mean, it makes no sense.
How much after 4 weeks does Stu, who's sitting at 2-2, want that championship?
That's just nah.
All right, next question. Where should draft weekend 2022 be held?
Very fun. Yeah. Who has the biggest house? Evan's gonna have twins. Peebly's gonna have kid. Max is gonna have 2 kids. Oh, how fun.
A lot of children popping up.
So we need the convenient travel for all.
Probably an airport would make the most sense. Well, Max is apparently drafting from Vegas.
I literally gonna say
Or none, right, regardless.
you decided for us. Let's see. So I guess I don't know when Pebble's kid is due, but by September of next year, all these children should be born and stable. Kids can be stable, right? Hypothetically stable. So
I personally would love New Orleans. So that's my vote.
interesting. If
New
we
Orleans,
all,
New Orleans with the boys sounds way more fun to me than Vegas with the boys.
I'm down for basically anywhere. I like New Orleans. I like the thought of maybe like Nashville, or like just like a random, like a interesting, like maybe doesn't have to be like the biggest city, but like interesting city could be cool. We haven't had like a legit everyone there draft in what feels like forever, maybe
Right.
even since like O'Malley drove down at 4 a.m.
What if we all flew to Minneapolis? Get Scott.
I definitely have always been of the mind of like that, get as many people as possible at one location.
Always.
I'm super down. Or like maybe somewhere like near enough where it's close to, like if Minneapolis, I don't know much about Minneapolis, but if it's not popping, then maybe like Chicago or something. Scott could see us there as well, but
Yeah.
I'm open for all things. I don't have a horse in the race, I'd say.
So to you, listener, where do you think the draft should be? Max is a pretty staunch proponent for Vegas. We've had New Orleans, which has been thrown around a little bit in the past few years, but I don't know if it ever seriously been considered. It seems like it's one of those like first out locations because there's a lot of rattling involved, and we always just denigrate to 2 locations.
Well, I just might want to eat the whole time in New Orleans. Like I just would want to not do much drafting.
Cafe Beignet, it's a thing. It's also a chain. It's great. Beignets and Cafe au lait, which is like coffee and milk. So good. I'm down for something like Nashville too. That'd be sweet.
Like Memphis.
Just somewhere to see.
Denver,
Miami.
Miami would be sick.
Also interesting.
I don't know if it would be sick. Get some Cubanos.
Oh, Don't threaten me with a good sandwich.
Yeah, we haven't been to like a destination draft in a while. The last 2 years we've been to like homes, which have been like awesome, but it hasn't been like new for everybody. And then with all of us going to Austin recently, we kind of checked that one off the list for a while.
Let's go to Puerto Vallarta
Do they
or
have,
Cabo.
I was gonna say if they have internet there, but yeah, I'm sure they have internet there. Okay.
It's fucking. All right, next question.
Dude,
next
actually,
question.
I love the double face palm. And like before I said that, I like harkened back to Weaver a few podcasts ago, where he's like, maybe like Brad had like the news is delayed in Africa, so like he didn't get this like updates for Saquon Park.
I was thinking about time delays. That's it.
All right, Bacon's last question is, and this actually is very topical to this week. What is a more likely outcome? Keep in mind, Bacon is playing Stu in fantasy.
Context, thank you.
A, Stu's wedding prep hurting his fantasy performance, or B, Stu's fantasy prep hurting his wedding performance.
This is a great question.
It's actually pretty
That's really
good.
good.
I think performance can be left pretty ambiguous as far as like what kind of wedding performance he's talking about. But
I love this question. That's so good.
But I'll jump on this one first because we've been throwing it to Adam. What's more likely? I think his wedding prep hurts his fantasy performance, is what I would say. I think everything is coming to a head this week, and by everything, I can't even like fathom all the things that are coming to a head, and all the things that I can fathom coming to a head would result in like if I'm putting like myself, my relationship in the situation. There would be no time. There'd be no time to get either. You're like dealing with, you have the opportunity to have personal growth in communicating with family, in finalizing preparations, and ensuring that your partner and bride to be is feeling good. Like I'm imagining like sun up to sundown, you're busy, and then maybe you have like a little bit of time to scroll on your phone to make some moves. So yeah, I would say that Stu's wedding performance, it will be at an all-time high, and his fantasy performance will be impacted.
I would agree completely. I think he's going to have no time. But in a twist, I'm going to twist it. His fantasy engagement may be low, but I think, as we've seen, that does not necessarily have a correlation with fantasy performance. Okay. So don't write him off. But there's a good chance, yeah, he maybe puts in a bad fab bid or none.
Yeah, I could easily see no fab bids this week from Stu.
Ooh, that's a fun wager.
It's a fun wager. Nobody text him. Since this is pre-wagers, pre-fab, waiver wire, all that bullshit. I agree. I'm on the same planet, same choice as y'all. He's got so much going on right now. He's so lucky to have such a great, organized man of honor.
Yeah, I haven't really done much since the bachelor party, and truth be told, still workshopping my speech. I got the bones of it, and I'm like torn, like 50-50, honestly, between like super hard prepping versus like in the moment winging. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I had a long drive tonight to get here to think about a lot of.
How'd that go? Or did you get any more progress?
Ish. Yeah.
Couple phrases.
Couple memories.
The structure. Oh yeah. So first of all, a lot of karaoke memories. There's gonna be a lot of karaoke.
Amber.
But that's good context, right? There's a lot of good context. Also, I'm gonna shout out the radio keys individually. I think that's important. And then I have like large themes that will connect everything together, but like how much like prep within each theme. Like, all right, theme 1, bullets 1 through 3, or like theme 1, we'll figure it out during the speech type
You
thing.
gotta, yeah.
So we'll.
Have you given any speeches like this before?
I haven't. Yes and no. It's weird. I mean, I fucking coach Black Tides. I've like spoken in front of like large groups of people
It's
before.
not the same.
My
yeah.
job is like speaking to people like day to day.
Not the same.
You're
Yeah.
doing great to build up my confidence.
At
right
a
now.
wedding, bro.
But,
You're at a wedding.
dude. I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna be like soaking it in. Like
Yeah.
all my jokes are gonna crush, and the first one's gonna be like, you all cannot imagine how much self-restraint I've had to use to not be wasted at this point. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of water
That'd be-
in my cup, right?
Yeah, dude, that'd be like with Borat timing. Like, you have no idea how much self-restraint I've had to use with my own drinking
Yeah.
tonight. Wow, that's fun.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be good, and I care a lot about Stu, so there's no way that I'm not gonna be prepared.
Yeah. You'll have a plan. It'll be good. It's just, yeah. Whew. When you care so much about somebody, you want to do it so well, and then
Oh, just random
that
thought
time,
while I was
yeah.
driving. I was like, am I gonna get like emotional during this speech? Like I didn't even like think about that until today. I was like, am I gonna have to like pause and
you should make sure you go before.
yeah, exactly. Here's something that was unexpected. Didn't plan for this. Finger guns.
I swear I'm gonna do this. I swear I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I told myself.
You should make sure that you go before the maid of honor, because you set the bar.
Yeah.
It's always brutal going second.
Yeah, I have no idea what the schedule is, and this is my one gripe is that I had no idea about anything that's happening this week. I have no idea when things are happening,
It doesn't
where
sound like
they're
those-
happening. I don't know.
Doesn't sound like things are happening. It's a wedding. That's it. One big party. Friday.
Party at Weaver's house. His address is.
Honestly,
All right, we got to move on.
I gotta clear with Ashley, but we may be hosting a pre-party. Live 2 blocks away from
Okay.
the venue.
In the essence of the network and also Adam's bedtime, we'll skip the fab portion this week. But as with last week, everyone had the perfect amount of money spent, perfect value. Everyone is amazing in their fab bids, especially those that spent on defense. Yeah, it's great. Okay. And with this one, and I kind of want to time that, fuck it. In less than 20 seconds, leader picks leaderboard updated with week 4. Starting from the top, Adam has 14 points. He went 3-3 in week 4. Coming in second place, O'Malley and Colin are tied at 12 points. O'Malley went 3-3. Colin went 2-4. Stu bringing up, that would be, what is that? 4th place. He went 0-6 in week 4. That is brutal. Woof. Pebbles still ahead of Weaver. Didn't even submit any picks for this week. Coming in at 9 points. Weaver's got 8 points. He went 1-3. That's right, folks. 1-3. 2 picks didn't make it in somehow for this week 4. And then Bacon bringing up the rear, still at 4 points. He hasn't submitted a pick since week 1. No one knows what's happening there, but we have to keep inching him to remind him that he is contractually obligated to spend money on the eventual 5th for
It's on the hook.
the winner. So going through it again, Adam, Sean, who the hell is that? Collins, Stu, Peps, Weaver, and Bacon in order. And all right, next section. Hate to love to see it.
Oh, Pebbles with the
55.
all right.
You
enough
get
about
that memo,
section.
Adam?
I didn't get. Oh, I thought about it, but I didn't want to screw up I didn't want to be the only one.
Yeah. I hate to love to see it. Weaver, Pick'em. The only 2 picks that I didn't submit were 2 picks that I got right. Yeah, I picked on Bill. I bet a shotgun on Bill. Didn't
That's the one.
bet in. Yeah. And then I also bet on Evan over you and did not click the button. I have video or maybe just audio evidence of my picks. However, Yahoo just didn't register them. So you hate to love to see it. That sucks. On to the next segment.
Yeah, matchup review. So we just talked about our correct picks, but briefly going through them. And actually, while we do this, we can look up Adam's picks too for the league pick'em. But going through, Doug Judy IR Bandit beat. I would rush for 500 miles. I had picked Bacon. Who'd you pick?
I picked myself.
Bet on yourself. And let's see, who'd you pick, Adam? You remember?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, league pick 'em.
Group
is
picks. Here we
fucking
go.
dope.
It's not easy to access on the app, which makes it
Adam
therefore.
picked, Doug Judy IR Bandit. So you two got it right. I got it
Adam,
wrong.
you're
Next,
my boy.
Fields of Wet Dreams versus Lamb of Rod. Only one person picked Lamb of Rod to win. That person is Mr. O'Malley, which, by the way, I met his lovely girlfriend this past weekend, Kelsey. Look forward to seeing her this weekend.
She's alive.
She's alive, and from the 5 minutes I spent knowing her, she seems like a very perfect fit for O'Malley because she was already talking shit to me when she's like, "What do you know about O'Malley?" And I was saying a bunch of surface level stuff, and she was like, "Sounds like I know him better than you do." And to that, I was like, all right, because of my love of O'Malley, I will just let you win this one. Also, I have to go play this Frisbee game, so I'll see you in a few days. But anyway, thank you, O'Malley, for picking Lamb of Rod to win. Even myself did not pick Lamb of Rod to win.
Yeah, if O'Malley hadn't fucked up, you would have got the for David versus Goliath win.
Right.
O'Malley, you stupid idiot.
Moving on,
Would be
speaking of
mine.
O'Malley, Menage a Trois beat Lamar Jackson. I picked him to win.
Excuse
Adam
me,
did
his
not
name is
pick him to win.
Jamar Laxon.
Jamar Laxon, whatever. He's the man of the week. And Weaver, what was your pick there? I can actually tell you, you picked Stu. So you both picked Stu. He did not win. I picked Snow Malley. Next, Lansing in the Mooney Light. We know that Weaver picked Bill. Adam also picked Bill. Colin picked Scott. Scott, WTF. I already shotgunned a White Claw for you.
Mhm.
That is that. Moving on. Hooked on Stephonics beat Team Jiggy Jiggy. I went with Jiggy Jiggy. Adam also. The hell? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong matchups.
No, you're looking at the right one, but I think
I was going horizontally instead of vertically, which is not what you want to do. Matt, you were the only person to pick Max. Only one.
I kept hitting the Brad can't keep winning, right?
I was going to ask you what your reasoning was, but that was the reasoning. This Brad can't keep winning.
I think so. I'm sure I had better reasoning.
Yeah, it's in the past. Okay, and last one, and we've beaten this metaphorical horse to death. Evan did beat Adam. Yep, it's already dead. I was the only one to pick Evan to win, with two people,
Wow.
Weaver and
Technically,
who else?
Technically,
Pebbles
I
also didn't get in there.
but technically, I didn't pick him. Tough.
We the stipulations of the agreement were set in stone before the season even started.
Oh, dude, I even have it on fucking paper. You know how you're all sad about your segment being the shortest of them all? Like I got all these notes for all these other matchups, and then there's
It just says Amari greater than starting set. What does it say? Going with the 400 club. Yeah, that was what happened on the podcast.
And Weaver totally didn't write that after the weekend. And he 100% has credibility to where he would never lie about anything.
He definitely wrote it in, but I mean, the computer's saying something else. I don't know what he wants to
Devil's
do.
advocate. And this is why Pebbles was very smart in saying that picks got to be in.
I know he missed the timing himself with Thursday Night Football starting.
I do agree that he should have been able to pick the games that were unaffected by the Thursday night
Yeah.
game. Although I can see with Yahoo, like I'm sure the engineers are like, why the hell are we putting that loophole? Yeah, they're like, you got to get him in by
Classic
this
Yahoo.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, like any team though, any engineering team is
Yeah.
like, they're like,
I don't care.
we're not catering to this random dude who like
Yeah.
didn't get his picks in, but like this
Too
hypothetical.
low on the priority of bugs to fix.
Oh my God.
bugs.
I've had to tell so many. So this is a known issue, but there's not going to be a resolution in the foreseeable future, but it's on the roadmap. In
That's for phase
support,
4.
like customer success speak.
Phase 4. That's a
Yeah.
It's always about the next phase, and you're like, what phase are we on?
yeah.
We're in phase 3.112. Yeah. So anyway, you understand. Here's a bottle of wine for your troubles. Okay.
Here's the workaround that's going to take you hours.
Here's the workaround. I just went in the back end and fixed your problem by myself for this one specific thing that's still going to exist on the rest of your thing. But it works. Anyway, yeah, it's not good content. All right, so now we're on to
This week's matchups. Woo! Bwom, bwom, bwom. The content that everybody's truly listening for.
picks of the week. So let's avoid any of the ones that we're all involved in
Boo!
initially. Come on, like it's
He rides the bench 500 miles. Great team name change. Bacon. That's so funny. Versus Jamar Laxon.
all right. Okay, let's do that one.
I'm gonna start it off. He rides the bench using my handy composition book. Jamar Laxon, he rides the bench. It's Stu's wedding weekend, and I think he's just gonna ride that high through his fantasy win. That is all that I have written in my notes for this week's matchup. Over to you, Adam.
I too picked Stu. I think I was looking at the projections, and Stu's projected to win by 2 points, so 2%. But I was looking at some of them, and like Trey Sermon's only projected to get 7 points. That feels kind of low. Leonard Fournette's projected 12 points on Bacon's side, feels kind of high. So it feels a little bit wonky, and I don't love how teams are using people like Kamara and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Don't love Gibson the way he's being used either. So maybe there's some conflict there. But I just think there's some like underperformances that'll write themselves on Stu. Plus he has Devontae Adams, which is my guy.
Yeah, I also am going with Stu. And honestly, the biggest reason is AJ Brown currently being in Bacon's lineup, but he's not going to play. Or I'd be surprised if he plays. I could see McKissick working his way into the lineup, but Bacon is pretty thin on receiver. Coupled with the fact that I think Henderdog is going to get a little bit more run. He looks pretty good in their game this past weekend coming off the injury. So yeah, that plus our boy Elijah Mitchell being very questionable. And then
Very questionable. You're questionable.
Shout out that this is a 4 Thursday night player game on our matchup. So that's exciting.
oh yeah, that is fun. And yeah, we get Lamar Jackson on the Monday night game. But yeah, I'm picking Stu as well.
This is the first week of the London games.
That's right.
Everybody be wary. There's a 6:30 a.m. game. Atlanta versus the Jets. Sick.
Yeah, Bacon does have the Atlanta D going there, which I think could be a sneaky play.
Certainly.
Not that they're like that good, but the Jets are also not that good. And for Zach Wilson, this will be his first London experience.
Next up is Menage a Trois versus Team Jiggy Jiggy if we're doing matchups that we're not in. Who do you got, Adam?
My notes say Brad. And let me explain why right now. I picked against him before, and I got lucky. I also picked him to make the playoffs because his team keeps performing. I'm a believer in Brad's team now. Brad.
Your intro to that is my notes say Brad, so I'm going Brad. Reminded me of Perd Hapley from Parks and Rec, which is another connection to Stu and his cat Perd, and a connection to my pick myself, which is I also am going with Brad. But my reasoning for that, a little more than the Perd Hapliness, is Cordarrelle Patterson has been crushing it, so I believe he will continue to do so against the Jets in London. Hockencock had a down week, 2 down weeks actually back to back, and I think Minnesota's defense coupled with Detroit's realization they need to get him more involved, will lead for that to happen. Mike Williams also had a down week for the Bolts after being just absolutely stupendous. So basically, all of that's to say that I think Brad's team had a down week this past week, and that down week resulted in like 137 points. So coming up against O'Mal's, who's got Galladay back in the lineup. I don't know. Brad seems good, and I believe in it. Purred happily out.
I'm also going with Team Jiggy Jiggy. And it's really interesting because I initially chose O'Malley, but and the reason that I swayed my vote is two of O'Malley's three running backs, I'm gonna just check it real quick, are facing tough defenses. We have Austin Eckler versus Cleveland D, Najee Harris versus Denver D. So I think O'Malley's running backs have finally come into their own. I'm very happy for O'Malley in that regard. He's got many different receivers that can contribute. They don't always do so. But I think that those two stiff defenses make a low running back contribution for O'Mal's. I think the New England defense against General Mills on the Texans is going to be a lot of points for Brad. So yeah, those are the main reasons I'm choosing Brad this week. On to the next one.
Next matchup, we got Lansing in the Mooney Light versus America. Fuck yeah.
America. Fuck yeah. I think this is the matchup of the week.
This one I'm taking Evan. I'm taking Evan because of the Dak stack we talked about. They're playing the Giants. That should be a thriller. Also, Kareem Hunt has been a ginormous thorn in my side as a Chubb manager. But Hunt will continue to get a lot of work, and that should be a high scoring affair, I would think. So Hunt's going to be involved. Kelsey also had a down week last week. He's going to bounce back. On the Bill side, David Montgomery is not going to play because he is effed. So Bill doesn't really have that many options beyond that because McCaffrey is still questionable. You could throw in AJ Dillon, but that guy is not the 1A or even in the ones for that backfield. So I think Bill is sneaky hurting for running back, whereas Evan's team is strong. Now, Joe Mixon is also questionable, so Evan's going to have to do a little bit of shuffling for that, but I think his team is better prepared with Jamal Williams and Rojo on his bench. Hard to trust those two guys, but at least he doesn't have to make any acquisitions on the wire and compete for those guys. So Evan is my pick.
Yeah, I also picked Evan.
We're such agreement.
Very similar reasons. Yeah, bad.
And three reasons that we've talked
two in a
about.
row, right?
Three, I think all of them. Have we
No.
not? No.
Hold up.
Since-
Speak through your choice, Adam.
Anyway, my choice is Evan. I think it's just about the mounting injuries for Bill, where just like you said, Colin, Evan's bench is a little bit more prepared at the current moment. We don't know about waivers at all. I am interested to see, there are a couple interesting matchups that they have this week that I think could decide it, which is Kelsey against Buffalo. So that should be a really high scoring game versus Waller against Chicago. Waller is tight end number 2 right now. I would expect scoring wise. So this could be a cool tight end matchup. I think Kelsey just has a better matchup for his offense to go against. Whereas I can see the Raiders just being like kind of a slower game against the Bears. And then interestingly, the Raiders, they have Ruggs versus Renfro currently in the slot. So that's really exciting. Is Renfro peppered target's gonna overmatch the 50-yard bomb that Ruggs may or may not take to the touchdown. So pretty exciting couple matchups there. But I am picking Evan.
Awesome. I'm taking my boy, Blood Diamond Bill. He's got the best fantasy defense in the league. It's undeniable. I do expect him to make a waiver wire running back pickup for this week
Who?
for the spot start. I'm not gonna say who because it's too early to tell, and there might be running
It
back.
will have already happened.
There are running back needy teams potentially on this pod.
Zach Moss scored. Did you see that?
I'm so sad about the Zach Moss situation. Anyways, I think one matchup, speaking of fun matchups within this matchup, is the defenses. Tampa Bay versus Miami. I think they're just going to feast on Jacoby Brissett versus Buffalo, who has been scoring like, 2 shutout games, but they're going against Patrick Mahomes. So I think Evan is going to have to make a defensive move. And if he doesn't, that could be also very fun contributor to this matchup. So I'm going with my boy Bill. Bill Weave. Let's go, buddy.
Pool D, Death Pool.
Oh, great
Dude,
memory.
that happened 10 years ago. Can you believe that?
Yeah. If we
A
just
decade ago.
don't put numbers behind these events, then we'll never age. We all still feel so young at heart.
We had to remember that weekend though, that crazy beer pong tournament, O'Malley being found in the shower, the Super Smash Bros tournament on the first night. A lot of fun things happened.
I just remember the chants. Pool D, Death Pool. Let's go.
My
Bill Weave.
year winning the Great American Challenge, the inaugural 57
That was
minutes.
awesome. Link was a shocking MVP of our team.
We were pretty bad.
Yeah. I was so proud of him.
Okay, we can do mine next. So we got Lamb of Rod versus Hooked on Stephonics. Worked for this family.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first on here. And I think that this is the game that Tyreek, Diggs, and Allen put up 90. They got so close. The 77 points last week. That is literally
You added it
Every
up.
week.
they were there. They
He's
just
like,
needed
shucks, I can't report on
one-
it this week.
I would have sacrificed an Emmanuel Sanders touchdown for that Diggs touchdown. It's crazy to me that Pitts hasn't found the end zone yet. I think he will this week, even though the Jets defense is shockingly good. One thing of concern for me picking Maxwell is Miles Sanders playing Carolina. I'm curious to see if that remains the starting running back in his lineup or if Gainwell gets to start, but I'm going with Max.
I'm also picking Max to complete the 2-1 curse on Colin, or maybe 3-0. I don't know. We haven't heard Colin's yet. He may reverse curse. I think it's going to be a horrible Sunday for Colin. I'm sorry that you're going to be driving home watching Hill and Diggs just go back and forth against you Sunday night. Unfortunately, I actually think Carolina's defense, I think they've bounced a little bit. I don't know. I think Miles Sanders potentially could have a better game. Zeke just ran for like 140. Now, granted, it's like the really good Dallas offense, but I would say that's why I'm going with Max. Sorry, Colin.
No apology necessary. I also am choosing Max to win this matchup.
He's trying the reverse announcer's curse.
Reverse the curse.
Team is just in a
Reverse the curse.
better shape than mine is. Last week, everybody like underperformed except for Marquise Brown, basically on my team, right? So we both got wins. Shout out the 0-3 teams getting wins. Now we get to play each other, which is, I don't know, not as fun as it would have been if we both would have lost this past week. But yeah, it will be interesting to see those guys trade blows in that game on Sunday night. But yeah, his team is just in better shape. I think I would need a lot to go my way to win this one. Playing devil's advocate, Kyle Pitts hasn't really found it. Chase Edmonds is in a complete timeshare with Connor, and Connor's getting all the goal line work. But yeah, I would need like Chubb. I would need like a reverse Chubb Hunt, as like what the trend has been. I would need CeeDee Lamb to stop being shitty, like he hasn't scored double digits in a few weeks. There's a lot that would have to go right for me. So I'm picking Max. Next matchup, let's do Fields of Barren Dreams versus I want to be starting at Sutton. And I'll start. I'm picking Pebbles in this one in his Barren Dreams. I think it's mostly because currently the Bush is pretty close, but he doesn't have a kicker right now. I think he is giving a boon because of the Montgomery injury in Chicago. So what is it? Darnell Williams is now forced into Damian Williams is forced into the starting role, and he actually produced in a big way last week for them in limited capacity. Whereas on your side, I mean, Carson currently is a Q. I mean, I don't know if that's going to keep him out, but watching that game against the Niners, Alex Collins was getting a lot of work. And this is going on here without taking all the airwaves. Dalvin Cook had a down week. I feel like Pebbles whole team had a down week with the 55 points that he scored. So I think it's going to correct back to the mean. And yeah, I'm taking Pebs.
I'm also taking Peps. Let's see my notes here. Damian Williams, Darnell Mooney. It's all right. They're on the same
There's more
team.
than one person named Darnell in the world.
That's a good counterpoint. Anyways, the Damian Williams stash pays off. I benefited from one of these stashes earlier at Pebbles' expense with the Alexander Mattison spot start. So that's going to be huge. And Justin Fields has been abysmal. They've been really depending on their rushing game. I believe that there will be a bit more tinkering with both of these lineups before Sunday comes, but I'm going with Pebbles. And part of me thinks that this is a stupid bet because I think that Zeke might carry the ball 30 times against the Giants. And you're very lucky that you're playing the Giants in Cowboy Stadium and not at the Giants field, because that is an ACL tear just waiting to happen for running back.
Woof.
So yeah.
Hopefully that's week like 18 or something.
Yeah. So no offense to you, of course. That's just, my overthought opinion, which clearly, I'm not even that confident in.
Well, all offense taken from both of you. I've chosen to take myself. Yourself. Write it down.
Got it yourself.
Got to bet on yourself. I think my team is better than they've been performing. While that's been a bad thing in the past and I've been wrong, I think I'm right in this case. I think what did I say? 4 of my players had like under 10 points in the afternoon games. It was brutal. Yeah. And then Godwin sucked at night. So I think all of them kind of bounced back. I think the Jets are just shitty, or the Falcons are just shitty enough to need to actually keep throwing on the Jets, which hasn't been a thing. And Godwin bounces back. We'll see if I actually play Ayuk or not. And we'll go from there. So I just got to bet on myself. And I think Zeke offsets the scary almost 20 points from Dalvin. Come on, man. That's not going to happen, right? They're going to continue to ease him back in.
That's
right?
Yeah, definitely.
See,
another pick me that could be made. I do want to give you a shout out for picking up Sam Darnold. That was
damn it!
amazing.
I wanted to give him a shout out.
Well, yeah, you snooze, you lose, Buckaroo. So nice grab.
Wasted. Yeah. So last year, I think I drafted Wentz, picked up Roethlisberger and Bridgewater, and would play one of those consistently, and had a horrible time. This year started off with Tannehill sucking, basically. So the Sam Darnold plug and play was maybe the best wide receiver play I've had in, as far back as I could remember. And then it resulted in him having like 30% of my points and not a win. So it'll happen again.
That's tough. Actually, I was kind of annoyed with it because I personally was debating trading you Russell Wilson, knowing that you were having QB woes and making a similar move as you of either Darnold or Danny Dimes, and you have picked up both of those quarterbacks. So very fun. Just that, nothing ever, it never got to fruition, but that was something that I had cooking. So that's fun. And
I also thought to pick up Darnold and trade you some of my bullshit.
Roger.
Bullshit.
Not true. All right, and the piece de resistance. The what? The last matchup we have Judge Judy IR Bandit versus the Landry Down Under. Who do you got? Adam.
Let me pull my notes, my super intricate notes. I'm picking Weaver. And the reason, I was looking at Scott's team and they have strong running backs, but I just really don't trust his wide receivers. And Kittle has been disappointing. So I think like 13 points from Kittle is kind of like a lot to ask for. Just my opinion. He's clearly good at football. He's not great at fantasy so far this year. So I think Henry outlasts Jones, Taylor, Swift combo, and then Weaver's wide receivers win it for him.
I love you, Adam, so much. I agree with your assessment. I'm picking myself. Derrick Henry versus Jacksonville is just like such a salivating prospect. He got 33 carries last week, and I was wanting for more, just like we always want to be so greedy, all right? Like 33 carries is so many.
His Bush is out of control right now.
It's crazy. Yeah.
21.45 points.
Yeah. And DeAndre Swift is stuck in some sort of timeshare. They're going to ride with the hot hand. You hate to read that in a blurb. I think Jonathan Taylor also gets swooped from Hines a lot. And I'm hoping for the same thing that you said. Henry is able to at least take on two of these running backs, and my receivers are able to outshine his receivers. But, worst storyline, I wanted to draft Kyler. I tinkered with a Russell Wilson pick as I was walking up to put Kyler's name on the board. Went with Russell. So if I die by Kyler, I'll just be triple sad. I'm just gonna live this sadness throughout the season. It's gonna haunt me forever.
What an alternate universe that would have been had you taken Kyler. Like, would Scott have taken Russell? And then going beyond, how many infinite alternate universes can we create if every pick of ours was different than what we made? What if I took Ridley instead of Hopkins? What if?
Team would still be really bad.
Okay, well, I'm picking Scott in this matchup. And I'm taking Scott because Elijah Mitchell is going to get Shanahan out of. Well, how many points did this guy score? He has scored since his first outbreak, 6.3 was when he was like the guy. He scored 6.3.
He got hurt.
He had 17 carries. Whatever. That's not the basis of my argument. I'm just throwing it out there. Higgins, who is currently on Scott's bench, is returning this week and is a good player. Also, Connor could be played in there instead of the timeshare Swift, although I don't think it will happen. Speaking of Hines, let me tell you something about Hines. I started Hines this past weekend. He scored 0.1 points. Okay, fuck Naheem Hines. All right, that guy, he's not the guy. Jonathan Taylor's the guy. Okay, Aaron Jones also had a super down week, less than 10 points. He's gonna revert back to the mean. Whereas, yeah, I do like your Cook play, but I just think Scott's team is better. I'm thinking Scott.
Scott has a very good team, especially if Pittsburgh can figure out their situation. Yeah.
He's a playoff team.
He's a playoff team.
Playoff.
Nice, post it.
Playoffs.
All right. We've been going for far too long for our
Real quickly, the Kyler Murray thing made me think about. So the Cardinals are the last undefeated team in the NFL, and they're playing the Niners, who have managed to what seems like slow down every single game except for maybe that first one. Do you think Niners get the win against the Cardinals this weekend?
Ooh.
Both of you?
They are playing in Arizona.
I'm not expecting the win. I think it'd be awesome to get a Kaepernick like surprise out of Trey Lance. I think the D line of the Cardinals has been like, who did they play first game of the season where they just wrecked a rookie?
Tannehill.
They play the Titans. Yeah.
The Titans. Oh, Tannehill. Yeah. Total rookie. 6-year rookie.
But since then, that's not true. They fucked up Jacksonville. There's a rookie they fucked up.
Yeah. So my expectations are low, knowing that we're going into this game with a dual threat rookie quarterback. I'm excited to see what Shanahan does with a week's worth of preparation instead of coming out of halftime, finding out that his starting quarterback is gone. Trey Lance, like, he came into his own towards the end of the game. Like, he looked abysmal in the beginning. So I think a full week time of preparation, throw into first team players, playing against first team defense. I think it'll be fun. I'm expecting to take the L.
I think,
mindset.
Yeah, I think the Niners are not going to win. They have to go into Arizona with a brand new strategy with the rookie quarterback, whereas the Cardinals are rolling.
And like, yeah, don't even get me started about our fucking DBs being injured all the hell. Yeah.
Dude, also Debo is crushing it, but 2 of his plays have been broken coverages. Like, you watch that game this Sunday, he was unguarded. And people are like, oh, Debo Samuel is so good. Literally unguarded.
I think that you can 100% blame the coaching scheme for that. Like, a brilliant play to confuse defenders. That's yards after catch plays 101, right? Like,
You think they drew up the wheel route because they knew Jamal Adams wouldn't stick with Debo?
Well, not necessarily that he wouldn't stick with him, but that they might have thought the other receiver was a bigger threat. Whoever was coming across the middle, like maybe
it was Ayuk.
Ayuk, yeah. Maybe they were targeting Ayuk and like trying to make sure he was shut down. And I don't know. I think there's a lot to be said about like there's so many times when you see routes run and it's just a hitch and your receiver just catches the ball and then just gets tackled immediately versus other routes where it's with the potential for yards after catch. And I think Shanahan does a really great job of scheming up those types of plays where like Kittle in his breakout season, when he had Beathard and fucking Mullins thrown to him, right? Like, it was always slants. I don't know, like plays designed to give them space. I think there's something to be said about.
For sure. It's like good coaching, but there's a difference between like a creating space and getting a 20-yard reception versus a broken coverage where you get a 70-yard touchdown.
Have you heard have you listened to head coaches talking or like any of these coordinators scheming and like the thoughts that go into? I've been listening to Kyle Shanahan talk a lot. And one of the things that like is recurring is they'll run the same play like 4 times in a game to get a defense familiar with it, just to call a play action pass or like a trick on the 5th play. And that's the one that, they bust for 80 yards. And it's something that I've never really considered in the like chess battle that goes on between coordinators, offensive and defensive. So it's really interesting. Like, they know that Jamal Adams is hyper aggressive and he's always trying to jump like routes and runs. He's always blowing plays up, right? So maybe that was a play that they had run several times before and targeted Ayuk on, and he recognized it, thought he could be a Malcolm Butler, and blow the play up, right? Like, yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. It's fun.
Smart coaching.
I mean, no credit to Debo. He just ran a route. Like, I think any of us could have ran that route and then caught that ball. And
I was gonna say that, but
not
then I was
scored.
like,
But I
when
could have caught the ball.
that ball. Maybe when I caught that ball.
Maybe caught it, maybe got like a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, like,
Obliterated.
6 out of 10 times I catch that ball, yeah, and
Oh.
then I definitely get caught when
that
I'm trying
ball.
to run away from these
Yeah.
guys.
I'm not even getting across midfield. But
All right, before we
okay.
leave, I want to make a wager on Stu putting in Fab or not tonight. This won't be released until tomorrow or Thursday morning. I have the mind that Stu still has some Fab wagers out there.
I agree. I think it's still early in the week.
Fuck it, I'll take the wager.
The no Fab.
The no fab spent this week.
What do you want?
No bids placed.
No bids placed. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, no bids placed.
Shot. I'll take one shot, and if I win, you both take one shot.
Sounds good.
All right. Put it there. That's a great way to go out.
Checking with Animal, you're the guy I'm betting with. He's right here.
What do I do?
Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is
Keep
fun.
it
I appreciate it.
Thanks for staying up past your bedtime too.
I'm starting to, I was getting sleepy.
All that coordinator talk, really, I saw the
I
fade.
was like, I
And thank you, Curtis, for the jingle.
Yeah.
Awesome as always, even though we haven't heard it yet.
yeah. Mystery.
See ya.
Just a couple of best friends hanging out. Just a couple of best friends hanging out, hanging out. Stu and Amber's wedding. Oh, happy day, October rain. What are they waiting to say on their wedding day? 2 times 2, baby, she loves you. So let's hear what you have to say. I do.